Good morning, YouTube. Today's Friday, the 30th of March. Pesach is very early this year, so we're going down to London as usual.
Good Friday. You forgot that.
That as well. That's just a coincidence.
Welcome on board Virgin Trains. We'll be travelling to London Euston.
Do I have to accept the cookies?
Oh, she's pulling herself.
Yes!
Walking is too much effort. There.
I'm very impressed.
Good morning, YouTube. We are starting the day in the beautiful, picturesque locale of Staples Corner, where the M1 and the North London North Circular meet. Also, you've got the Midland Main Line over there, and some river or canal or something over there. It's it's a pretty miserable area, but we found a hotel which gave us a room for four for £30. Which is pretty outrageously cheap, so we took it anyway, and it's quite near to our family members who we're staying with nearby. We're now going to make a very convoluted journey all the way to Stoke Newington via West Hampstead and Hackney. We'll start with the 32 bus. Hello and welcome back. I am now at Bronsbury, so we're making our way from one Cousins to the other, from Kilburn to Stamford Hill / Stoke Newington. It's raining a bit, so my parents didn't really fancy taking the Overground, so they booked an Uber, but I decided to take the Overground anyway, just to spite them. So I now present to you round 2 of the race across North London. Now I'm going to let you into a secret. I'm probably going to lose this time, and that's because, unlike last time, I have one major disadvantage, and that is that I have to change in Hackney. But, you know, it's still open, so we will see how it goes.
The train now approaching platform 2 is the 12:02 London Overground service to Stratford. Please stand back behind the yellow line.
The next station is West Hampstead. Change here for London Underground, Jubilee Line and National Rail services. Please keep your luggage with you at all times and report anything suspicious to your member of staff. Next station is Camden Road. station is Caledonian Road and Barnsbury. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. The next station is Highbury and Islington. Change here for London Overground services to Clapham Junction, New Cross, Crystal Palace and Western Croydon via Surrey Quays. London Underground Victoria Line and National Rail services. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Beside herself.
The next station is Dalston Kingsland. Please keep your luggage with you at all times and report anything suspicious to a member of staff. The next station is Hackney Central.
Майка му една такава много приятна жена и той най-колко сина. Даже викам само, сега ще минах в мисачката и така, той просто ви сега. Да минахам към при баща му.
That train continues on to Stratford, but we're changing here to head off over the passageway that actually does exist to get to Hackney Downs. Well, it appears that there seems to be some engineering work taking place and the trains are not running. That is a minor complication. Right, so I'm going to double back on myself, go back one stop to Dalston Kingsland and take a bus from there, which was actually the route that was recommended by Google Maps, but obviously I thought I knew better, so the lesson is always listen to Google Maps, because it probably knows something you don't. Right, now at Dalston Kingsland, let's find the bus. And the results are in. I lost, but it's okay, because, you know, whatever. It was a valiant effort. Anyway, we're now... So we then took an Uber back to our first cousin's house via the cinema where we watched Black Panther. It is now Sunday, April 1st of April, and we are going to Camden, which means once again we will be taking the Overground from Bronsbury.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please keep your luggage with you at all times and report anything suspicious to a member of staff.
So we're at Camden Road in Camden. Let's go to Camden. Here we are in the Camden markets. So Mum and Dad went into town earlier to go watch a play, We're now going to meet up with them at Leicester Square. The Northern Line is closed, so we are taking the 24 bus instead. Hello and welcome back. Here we are at Covent Garden after having had dinner and dessert. Ladder. We're now going to walk slowly over to Green Park, from which we will catch the Jubilee line home, because who wants to deal with the Piccadilly line at this time of day? Does anybody in the comments know why the coats of arms of the Swiss cantons are displayed here at Leicester Square? I honestly have no idea. It's baffling. Next stop on our whistle-stop tour of all the London tourist traps, Piccadilly Circus, aka knockoff Times Square. Past the Ritz, because you know, we've had our dessert. We're now at Green Park. That didn't feel like a mile, but here we are anyway. We are now hopping on the Jubilee line to Kilburn after quite a long and varied day. Tomorrow there is some snow due, but assuming that the transport network has not completely collapsed, we might be heading out of London somewhere. And then also we're going home in the evening. So we're definitely leaving London, but we may also do a day out to somewhere new and exciting in the southeast. Come on, Blueberry, we're putting this bed away. You've got to go. I know you have to wake up. Come on. It's time to wake up. It is now Monday. We are once again starting our day at Brondesbury. Today we are heading back to Manchester, but first we've decided to go out of central London for a bit. We're going to head off to the National Trust place called Ham House in Richmond. In order to get there, we'll of course be taking the Overground. But
It's gorgeous.
What is that?
Start from Aberdeen. That I just looked it up.
Aberdeen.
Yeah. Looks great, huh?
It's great from there. I'm not sure you said great.
So we've made it to Richmond after having shared tracks with the district line for a bit. We now separate out and get our own platforms, which is very much a kind of reminiscent of Altrincham, as is the station style itself, as Dad pointed out. So we've decided that Richmond is the Altrincham of London. Here you've got the end of the district line, the Overground, and you also have South West Railway services. So it's quite a large station actually. Ham Street for Ham House. The general area, I'm guessing, is called Ham. London does of course have by far the best bus network in the UK, which isn't saying much. Most of the rest of the UK, the buses are pretty terrible, but London's is all managed and regulated in-house by Transport for London, which means you've got a very good standardised system, which just makes it a lot easier to use than say in Manchester, where, you know, it's a first bus or a stagecoach bus. Yeah.
Regulates all the buses, apart from London for some strange reason.
Very poor decision. So we've made it to Ham House. The weather is not great, but it's okay, 'cause it's a nice warm manor we can go into. Hot, cold, and lemonade. Well, that was the Ham House. So we're going to slowly head back towards Richmond. Might walk around a bit first. We're quite early, but then we've got to get from Richmond to Euston. So we've left our suitcases in the restaurant at Richmond, not accidentally, deliberately. They looked after them for us. So we've got to get back with our suitcases to Euston. So the recommended route is via the tube. However, I suggested that it might be easier when carrying suitcases to stick with the Overground and change at Willesden. So we'll probably end up doing that instead. But anyway, this has been a nice excursion. So we didn't fancy walking, so we've just come right back to Richmond station. and we have some time to kill. Because my brother doesn't like walking around, we left our little manor house day out thing early, and now we have way too much time before we go to Euston, so I've decided that I'm going to do some spontaneous train spotting at Richmond to use up half an hour. So here we are at Willesden Junction. Oh, this is a good place to tap. Well, we'll know that because we'll tap out at Euston, won't we?
We, not frequently, but we sometimes took it from Willesden.
Willesden Junction. You can't actually see the West Coast Main Line from here, which is a shame. I was hoping it would give us something to spot while we wait, but it's all behind that embankment stuff. This is a very, very insanely complicated railway junction. I can hear a passing Virgin train in the distance, but I can't see it, which is annoying. We just want the next Overground service into Euston. Despite the fact that this was a very complicated junction, it was nevertheless a very easy change, which is good because we have suitcases.
Okay, 1833.
Good memories of Kensal Green.
The next station is Queen's Park. Change here for London Underground, Overground Line. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please keep your luggage with you at all times and report anything suspicious to a member of the staff.
Doesn't matter. And so the time wasting continues. We are now in London Euston, where our train is leaving in about 45 minutes. So we have just under half an hour to do some train spotting. we are at Stockport. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. I've just heard Anne at Stockport. I've never heard Anne at Stockport before. Must be new.